Zed's well back with another one. If you're watching the channel, subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, leave a comment below. Yo, so I just keep coming across mad stories, bro. Mad stories. You get me? Some 60-year-old man has just been jailed, yeah, for setting home alone booby traps in his yard to protect his grow and all the other stuff he had in his house. He had firearms in his house, he had weed growing in his house, he had weed selling in his house, he had bums in his house, all kind of stuff, man. And he kind of blew himself up because he ordered some imitation firearms off the internet or something from China. And this is how he's got bagged. Like he's probably had been doing this and had these things in his yard for ages and ain't been got in no trouble. But as soon as he ordered some stuff offline, he got himself in trouble, man. NCA come to his yard, and from there it just went downhill. But yo, let's get into it, man. Man rigged house with traps to protect drug den. A man who rigged his house with Home Alone style booby traps, including a flamethrower and tripwires to protect his drugs enterprise, has been jailed. Ian Cloughton, 60, heavily fortified 3 properties in Grimethorpe, Barnsley, with fishing wire, adapted crow scarers, and homemade pipe bombs to protect his cannabis growing operation. Him and his ex-wife Leslie, who assisted and encouraged his criminality, were found guilty of drug and firearm offences following a trial at Doncaster Crown Court. So, bro, this is what I'm saying. Like, you see some old people and that you think, oh, they're just doing what old people do. Them lot involved in crime heavily. These lot are 60 and 59. You know what I'm saying? You see a lot of old people up and down, and you just think, yo, they're just living out their life, and they're right involved in criminality. We've seen what happened with that guy. How old was he? 79, did I say he was? 79, 80 years old. The guy who just got sentenced to 16 years for big drug labs in his house. He's going to probably die in jail. I doubt this guy will because he only got like 7 years. So, he should be able to make it and not check out in the pen. You get me? But yeah, Sheffield Crown Court on Tuesday, Ian Cloughton was sentenced to 7 years in jail, while his ex-wife was handed a 21-month sentence, suspended for 2 years. So she ain't even going pen. If she gets in trouble in them 2 years, she get 21 months. But he got 7 years. He'll do like three and a half. He's only 60 years old. He'll be all right. He'll come out. Their trial heard police raided the couple's properties in Brealey Road in May 2024 after Border Force officers discovered imitation firearms in a parcel addressed to Leslie. So, his ex wife, he must live next door to his ex wife or something like that. His wife has ordered imitation firearms. Border Patrol have hollered at the police. The police have come and raided the properties, and I think they raided 3 properties. So he's obviously owned some property. You get me? These like probably been growing weed and that for ages. No people are growing weed and that you don't even know, and they've been doing it for ages. And look, this guy probably would have got away with it for ages if he never ordered them imitation straps off the net. He probably would have been going through for ages, probably was going through for years. You know what I'm saying? And they're saying about 100 neighboring properties were evacuated. They had to evacuate 100 people, 100 yards, while specialist devices from Yorkshire and Humber regional organized crime units searched the homes. Inside, officers found 2 primed man traps, 2 potential firearms, and 4 large plastic bags of cannabis buds with an estimated value of 16 bags. During police interviews, Ian Clayton said the devices were crow scarers, similar to banger type fireworks, which he had attached to tripwires to deter anyone from breaking in his home. You've already seen the picture of him on that thumbnail anyway. A cannabis growing setup with 24 plants were found hidden in a secret room at one next door property, and at his ex-wife's home, 1.5 keys of amphetamine was found. You get me? An array of imitation firearms were also found, along with crossbow and a homemade flamethrower fashioned from a fire extinguisher filled with petrol. Cloughton was seen demonstrating it on a video recovered from his phone. A large amount of cash was recovered, including 27 bags, found stitched into a sofa, which the couple initially claimed had been obtained from car boot sales and inheritance. This is what I'm saying. That you had a little thing going there. You had a thing going there. And then you already know you got all these imitation firearms at your house. What are you doing with them? You man are probably converting them and doing all kind of stuff. Like, look at the sign. This sign here was put up. Look, it said he left signs above his workshop entrance to ward off intruders. You know what I'm saying? He put signs up. Look, in this sign, it says, "Well done for getting this far. Now would be a good time to get measured up for your coffin and say goodbye to loved ones. This gate is electrified in excess of 550,000 volts. Enter at your own risk, be warned." You know what I'm saying? He probably lived on some kind of remote place and in Barnsley, and that people probably knew that he had grows there or someone was trying to burgle his thing. And my man just put bare booby traps up and all that. And he's saying that he told police he had ordered the imported switch guns, believing they were blank firers, and intended to use them at a themed birthday party. Police said he claimed that the amphetamine was for his use for weight loss and chronic fatigue, and that he had been growing the cannabis under duress and threats from unnamed others, and that he had not benefited financially. This guy here already, that you can tell that he knows what he's doing. He knows how to explain and break things down. You know what I'm saying? Some people would have just went in there and put their hands up and said everything. This guy is saying that, yo, people made him grow the bud, and you know what I'm saying, the amphetamine belongs to me for weight loss. And but I don't know how you're gonna say 1.1.5 keys of something is for you for personal use. I don't think you're gonna get away with that. You know what I'm saying? Ian Cloughton told jurors the fire extinguisher turned flamethrower had been used to wow people during bonfire night, and that he got the inspiration for his booby traps from Macaulay Culkin film Home Alone. So they found all this bud in his yard as well. But these are probably pounds. I don't know. I don't know if they look like pounds or Zeds. They might be Zeds actually. I don't know. Before the trial, they're saying he pleaded guilty to bringing a realistic imitation firearm into Great Britain. A realistic imitation firearm. That's crazy. I didn't even heard about that charge before. Being concerned in production of a controlled drug, namely cannabis, and possession with intent to supply a controlled drug of cannabis. He was later found guilty of 2 counts of possession of a firearm, possession of criminal property, and possession of explosive substances. This guy got a blight, getting 7 years, bro. I'm telling you that now. He could have got slammed. He could have got much more than that. But obviously, he pleaded guilty to some things he didn't do, and he got found guilty of. And his ex-wife was found guilty of bringing a realistic imitation firearm into Great Britain, possessing Class B drugs with intent, possessing criminal property, and being concerned in production of Class B drugs. Look, he had homemade pipe bombs in his house and everything, man. This guy was different, man. I'm telling you, you don't know what people got in their house, man. It's mad. Senior investigator, deputy sergeant, Detective Superintendent Al Burns of the YHROCU said Ian Cloughton had been involved in drugs offending to a very significant degree. He appears to have developed a siege mentality that saw him go to unusual and elaborate lengths to defend his home and its illicit contents from would-be intruders, drawing inspiration from Macaulay Culkin's character in Home Alone. The modified booby trap devices officers found at his address, along an array of other weapons, had the appearance of homemade bombs and obviously caused a serious concern. These are the type of yards that when you watch the movies when the man them burgle people's houses and that, and the next thing you know they don't make it out and all that. This is what I'm saying. These kind of yards exist. You burgle this yard. This geezer's got all kind of weapons in the house. The man that you know what I'm saying. I wouldn't be surprised if you found a booby trap door and it was had people held in there. Trust me. When you watch some films and they got people tucked away in some secret compartment in the house holding them hostage. I believe that shit's going on now, man. I'm telling you. Look, they're saying this was recovered from his property as well. Shotgun. All kind of stuff, my man. Drugs, artillery, all kind of stuff in there, bro. You know what I'm saying? He got 7 years. He's lucky. Let me go to another page because there's a bit more. There's a bit more. Sorry, bit more pictures. Look, these are the things that he ordered. These are the guns that he ordered offline. It's because of this why his whole operation has gone down the drain now. Because of this. Ordering this border patrol. As soon as this happened, boom. Then they go to the yard, find a whole other shit. You get me? You got too comfortable, man. One of the switch guns sent from China. Hash found. This is peas found in his yard. This is the weed and all that found in there. This is the flamethrower. Look, this is the flamethrower man had. These lot would have you would have burged these lot, yeah. They would have killed you and buried you somewhere. You know, like the movies. I'm telling you. Look, that was one of the letters. This is remember I already showed you this one. This is another one he put. Look, warning: do not enter these premises. Look, TNT. He had bomb signs on his thing, unless invited to do so. The premises and its surrounding buildings, yard are booby trapped. You have been warned. No longer lives, works here. It's no joke. Everything booby trapped. So I feel like people probably knew about that yard and that knew that was stuff going on. Because look, he says you have been warned. Such and such. This name's blurred out. No longer lives here, works here. So people probably knew that things was going on in there anyway. That's why he's booby trapped up the place. Because something's happened for him to go these kind of lengths. Yeah, something's happened before. People know or something. I'm telling you, because people don't just do this for nothing, man. Or either that, or you just super power. But like I said, this is covered up, saying, "Yo, so you have been warned. Such and such no longer lives here, works here. So it's no joke. Everything booby trapped." So he's just letting you know that, yo, because people probably knew that stuff was going on in there before, and saying, "Yo, that person ain't here no more." Trying to fend people off. You know what I'm saying? Pete, man. But yeah, he got 7 years, man. He's only 60 though, so he'd be out in 3.5. He'd probably be out in like two, home leave and all that. I wonder if they're gonna take his properties and all that. I don't know. That's a whole other story, man. But yeah, man. This is what I'm saying, man. You see people on the road all the time. You don't know. You could be next door to a whole mad operation and you don't even know. There's a lot of that going on the roads right now, man. Madness, man. But let me know what you lot think about this anyway. If you're watching the channel, subscribe to the channel. Give the video a like. Leave a comment below.
I done sold all this dope for years just to become a YouTuber. Shit fucked up, y'all.